Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Z coming at you with part 4 of our free-to-play series for Raid Shadow Legends. Today, we're going to finish out our 2 weeks talking about days 12 to 14. And in that, we're going to talk about where we're at currently. We're going to talk about where we're going to focus on next. We're going to talk about how to build Kael out. And we're going to talk about our team composition for this week. All right, let's get into it. Boom! Here we are. Let's go. All right, first thing first. Where are we? What did we do? We do nothing? I don't know. You tell me. So, currently, let's talk about mission campaign first. We are almost done, Brutal. We're so close. We literally just have to beat the boss on stage 11 and then finish up stage 12, and then we are done. We have not touched hard again. We have 4 more stars to get our Sacred Shard. We're not too concerned about it because there's no Sacred Shard event coming up. We're not going to push it. Now, quest-wise, we are trying to do all of our advanced quests every day. We have to finish up 1 or 2 more. We're just waiting on our last clan boss key for the day. Super easy. Mission-wise, we just need to finish Bronze 3. We're so close on that one. Can't remember if I told you last video, we did max out our gem mine, so now it's all gravy. We're now going to start seeing some return on investment for that gem mine and not having to worry about it, which is great. Now, let's talk about Kael, how to build him out, what we're looking for. So with Kael, because he's being our campaign farmer is what our goal for him is, we kind of want to gear him in a lifesteal set for sure, and then one other set. So one other set, oh god. The one other set can be one of 3 sets. Speed set, the crit rate set, or the accuracy set. Now, the only time you use a crit rate set is if you can't get 100% crit rate, which we already have on him, so we're killing it. And the only time you use accuracy set if you can't get enough accuracy for your champion. We don't have as much accuracy as I want, but for campaign farming, you don't need more than like 40 accuracy because they all have basically no resist, so we're chilling. That's fine. So we went with the speed set because going faster is always good because it makes you take extra turns instead of your enemy. So the biggest thing with these sets is the sets and gearing is that it's these 3 right here. The reason it's these 3 is because these 3 are unique. Because when you look at gloves, they can have multiple things. You can have attack percent, you can have HP percent, you can have crit rate percent, you can have flat stats, right? But for Kael, what we really want is we want crit rate gloves. Unless we can get 100% crit rate without using gloves, then we use crit damage. But at this point in the game, you're probably using crit rate gloves. So because we use crit rate gloves, I did max this one out to 16 because I wanted that 40% crit rate because that lands us that 101% crit rate, which is huge for Kael. We're going to crit on every single hit. We don't need to worry about it at all, which is sweet. So gloves, I always recommend crit rate percent. And these gloves we got at the beginning of the game, if you guys remember. So that was an easy one. No problems. Number 2, let's talk about the chest. Now, for Kael, we're going to want one of, let's say, 3. We're either going to want attack percent, HP percent, or defense percentage. Percentage stats are better than flat stats, especially on these, and they're going to carry us farther into the late game. We can use this chest plate for quite a while. Now, attack percentage is great. You're going to deal more damage. Problem being is I'm using it as a campaign farmer and I kept dying, so we have HP percent and we have a wicked HP percent chest piece for where we're at in the game right now. So that works great for us. So we're rolling with that. And then defense percent is the same idea as HP percent. You're just trying to have your guy not die. And defense percent actually works really well with lifesteal because every point of health matters more. Simple. Lastly, boots, speed. The answer is speed on boots. It's the only flat stat we want on these because it's the only piece of gear as a primary stat that's going to give you speed. And because of that, you always want speed. I'm actually probably going to turn these to level 16 as well, just because it's going to be a while before I find a better set of boots for my character. Because lifesteal set's not exactly the easiest to grind. That stage is not the easiest to grind, so we'll probably just turn that to level 16, call it a day, and move on with our lives. So that's key. Now, when we look at the top set, you're always going to have attack on your weapon, you're always going to have HP on your helmet, and you're always going to have defense for your shield. Key thing with the top set is we're just using it to fill in any gaps that we have from our bottom set. So it's going to help us get our crit rate to 100%, which can be huge for him because crit rate is bigger than attack in this game. Because if you're not hitting crits every single time, because every time I hit a crit, I do 50% more damage. Right now, I'm actually doing 70% more damage because I have a little bit of crit damage. And that crit damage can scale too. It's going to do more than an extra 100 or 150 attack that you might get. So that is huge for your champion. So for these, we're just going to use that to fill out our crit rate, our speed, and our accuracy. Those are the 3 most important stats for Kael. And then after that is crit damage if you can spare it. You just kind of, with the speed and the accuracy, you kind of just want to hit a number, right? Like if we can get our speed to 180, we're killing it right now. And if we get our accuracy over 100, we're killing it. And then we don't need to worry about that for a while. We will need to bring it up depending on what stage we want to get through. Most the like rule of thumb is for in dungeons, for every stage times it by 10. So stage 13 of dragon, which is what we want to get to, we're gonna have to have 130 accuracy to land poison every time. That's something to note. That is important. That is something we do want to keep tabs on, which is when we can throw perception gear on it. Awesome. So that is how we want to build Kael. That's for the first little bit as our campaign farmer right now. Now, what we want to talk about after that is who am I going to pair Kael with for getting through the campaign for now and doing arena and what little bit of dungeons we have to do. Well, with him, I'm pairing him with War Maiden. I currently have her in a lifesteal set as well and a perception set. The reason I have her in a perception set, even though her, my goodness, my tongue today, even though her accuracy is only at 50, we want to get it higher ideally, and we will, but for now it's fine. We want to make sure we're hitting our crumbling blast as often as possible, getting that decreased defense on them so that our Kael can mop up with his acid rain. And that's going to really let him hit hard on that acid rain. So she's a great go-to as a secondary. And then having our executioner as a third is awesome. He gives us a nice little aura instead of the health, a little bit better. 17% defense is a little better than an extra 15% HP. And then finally, we are working with our Mausoleum Mage because we got lucky. So he's going to be our support. He's going to help us deal more damage, take less damage, and heal us. So he's a wicked, wicked champion. We did hit the lucky button on that one. Lucky button, the lottery, whatever you want to call it. So that's kind of what we want for champion composition. So you can see we have like a damage dealer. We've got a debuffer. We've got a healer / support. And then we kind of got a tank, right? So that's kind of round out our team for the 4 stack. And we have a 5th slot, which is kind of flex slot. I may book up Shaman as a revival because being able to revive your allies is really huge. Or I might use Frozen Banshee for like clan boss because she makes Kael hit even harder with his poisons. So things like that are to keep in mind. But the core 4 right now I'm rolling with is Kael, War Maiden, Executioner, and Mausoleum Mage. Now, if you don't have Mausoleum Mage, obviously, well, you probably don't at this point. You can totally run with Eris or Spirit Host or Diabolus, which is my favorite. Doesn't get enough love in my opinion. I think she's underrated. She doesn't do a lot of damage on her own, but she's so much utility for your team. They're always going faster. You're always taking extra turns. So I think she's huge. So that's kind of our team composition and building. Oh, get that. We gotta be effective. Now, what are we going to finish for this last 2 weeks? Well, we did not get Kael to level 60 or 6-starred, but we are close. We currently have 4 5-star people. We just need one more 5-star person to turn him into a 6-star. So at the end of these 2 days, we want to do that. I'm pretty sure we can do that because I would like to make note of the fact that tomorrow, day 13 for us, we are going to get an extra 500 energy. That is a lot of energy for grinding through levels to get champion food. So we should be able to get it tomorrow. If not, we'll be able to squeak by on day 14. Not too worried about it. And then we can complete Brutal. So that's going to be awesome for us. So Kael's going to be level 60 by day 14. I'm putting a stamp on it because I've been saying you need to get him to level 60 forever. We're going to finish Brutal. because once he's level 60, it's going to be really easy to finish Brutal. And from there, we're going to start to work on, probably start getting up on Dragon. If we can hit stage 13, probably won't be too long before we can do stage 13 of Dragon. Because with Kael level 60, and if we get Warmane into level 60 and we have a bit of a healer, we can probably out DPS Dragon. The biggest thing with Dragon is you just need to hit hard enough so that he doesn't do his special fire breathing attack, which you guys probably have seen a couple times. Scorched Earth, I believe it's called. So that's the goal. That's the key. That's it, guys. That's a pretty quick video this time. Yo, love you all. Peace out.